Well, the time you want it is when you're going to do the interviews. That's a slam dunk. JW from the chat. Thank you, Sergeant Cannon and Professor Geary. Great analysis in an intelligent and down-to-earth approach. Thank you so much. And folks, again, if you're not subscribed, right on the screen, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give us the thumbs up and hit that like button too, because that's how YouTube shares us all over the world, you know, so we can be be known in your household too. So, but thank you so much. Yeah, you know, that's why it's so, we all become super sleuths when we watch all this stuff and say, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do? Because they didn't have all the information that we now have.
That's right.
In real time. So that's where great investigation comes in. And of course, as the case moves forward and they start getting these videos in, they started getting these license plate reader timestamps in. That is invaluable. And you just always hope and pray that you have that information to use during the interview, because it's a slam dunk. It's a slam dunk when you can confront people with truths, that the truths that you know as they lie to you. I mean, when they very strongly said to him, no, you were not there at 10 o'clock. You know, you saw how he just, whoa, I just got slapped by my kindergarten teacher, you know. He didn't know what to do. He was confronted with the truth that he's so used to lying and getting away with lying that he was never confronted by two very good interviewers that called him on his lies. Mike.
Yeah, Bill, that's the beauty of it. At that time, they had some information. They didn't have it all, but they had enough to know that he was lying, because he was challenged earlier in the interview. You know, he's challenged about being seen going south on John Young Parkway when at the time that he said he was going north with Maddie towards the McDonald's. And they have at that time that he's seen going, and that at that point where he's challenged a little bit on that. And then it gets a little testier and a little bit more testy, but you could see right there, the police were like, okay, let's throw that out there. Let's take him up on and challenge him a little bit. Don't let him just rant and rave the whole time. Let's just give him a little something and to see what he says. Because the truth that they later found out was, for that hour and a half that he was driving around from, like, say 7:40 in the morning, 7:50 in the morning till like 10 o'clock, he was driving up and down, had Maddie in the car, and then he went to the Holiday Inn, and he's driving around without her. He probably went to the vape shop. She was in the trunk of the car, things like that, you know. So they did a great job, and it was really good to get the information that they had then. We have it more now, so they can corroborate what the license plate readers say, with the times that they know he was at different locations, with the security guard video, so they could put together. And that's how they kind of figured out towards the end in Hickory Tree Road, was because he was going in that direction, and his license plate was picked up on a license plate reader. They didn't know exactly where on Hickory Road he stopped, because remember, the female detective said to him, "Where on Hickory Road were you? What did you see when you got out of your car to change the tire? What did you see?" And she's looking for him to say a milestone. Oh, there's a big white gate with the letter M on it. I was like 10 feet from an intersection. There was, you know, something like that. He couldn't do it. But yeah, at that point, they were, when you think about it, they were actually hot on his trail, figuring out exactly where poor Maddie was. They needed that one break, that one extra break that they got from the witness who called in and told them, wait a minute, I saw that guy, changing his car tire, and I can tell you exactly where he was on that road, on that deserted road. But they did a fabulous job, and it was between the license plate readers and security video and police instinct, they knew they had the guy.
Well, very well said, Mike. Kissimmee, Florida. At this point, the detectives had the Venetian Bay camera footage showing Madeline dead in the passenger seat. Well, thank you, Kissimmee, Florida. But we don't know, like, during this interview, yes, this interview was on the 28th, I believe, and he had given them his phone, and they were still in the process of someone from one of their, the NYPD has a technical assistance response unit, and that does all of the electronic work for the police department. They gave that phone to someone in their unit because they had permission to go into it. You heard him. He even gave them his code to get into the phone. So once they went into the phone and they found evidence, felonious evidence, I'll just say it that way. We all know what it was. They then got a search warrant because, you know, there's more evidence and we don't want any of it to be thrown out. Say some defense attorney says, oh yeah, he gave you permission, but he didn't mean to check to go back to, you know, they can always make up some excuse. So they did get a search warrant and they found extremely nefarious, you know, materials on the phone. I'll just put it that way. And so just that's when the case really, you know, then they could take their time. There was no rush. And look, as you remember, they didn't find Maddie's body till March 1st. It was dumped, we believe, on the 26th. And they didn't find it to the 1st. So, you know, to me, this is fascinating. This is actually, I know it's tragic. It's horrific. No one visits people like this in their life, usually, you know. No one sees people. We used to see them all the time on the police department, but during the normal course of your activities, I don't think that you're meeting people like this. Nor do you wish to meet people like this. Mike, we stayed on a lot longer than I thought we were going to because I found it so fascinating.